How's the camera? Is that all right? Yeah, we're going live to the booth, right? We do the beauty open, and then we'll go to the booth. We're ready to get this game started, but we cannot do that. And welcome back, everybody, to Duncan Park in downtown Hartford as the Yard Goats and the Blue Jays affiliate, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. Dan Lavallo, Jeff Dooley with you. And Dan, a little bit interesting tonight for Game 2. The Yard Goats will bat first. They're going to be the visiting team because this game was originally scheduled to be played May 9th up in New Hampshire. So the Fisher Cats are the home team tonight.
You don't see this in the major leagues, but you do see it in the minor leagues. And yes, the Yard Goats, for the second time in 2 weeks, are playing a doubleheader at Duncan Park, where in the second game they are the visiting team.
Goats try to get a split in Game 1. The Fisher Cats scored a couple of runs late to take down Hartford in Game 1.
Yes, 7-6 the final score. That seventh inning was a wild one. New Hampshire scoring 2 to break the tie. The Yard Goats scoring a run, and they had the tying run on base when the game ended.
Well, the Goats will be up against, as we take a look at the starting lineup. First, it is the Fisher Cats lineup presented by the Hartford. And I should say the Goats starting lineup brought to you by the Hartford. And starting pitcher, it's Jason Diaz, who's pitching for the Fisher Cats.
And he's got to work to a lineup led off by Cole Carrick, who leads the Yard Goats in just about every offensive category and is among the league leaders in several categories, Jeff.
Cole get things going for the Goats. Cole Torres and Kent here in this very first inning.
There you see Jason Baez, his numbers. He's faced the Yard Goats in relief. He's making his second start of the season. He throws hard, and the defense behind him, well, the shortstop, Harry, was a very busy man in the first game of the doubleheader. And now you've got McAdoo starting at third base. He appeared as a pinch hitter in the first game. Carrick settles in at the plate. And settling into the mic once again, here is the voice of the Yard Goats, Jeff Dooley.
So Cole Carrick will start things, the DH. He played center field in Game 1. The first one from Baez, missing for ball 1. Baez does have a high-octane fastball, that first pitch at 95 for the right-hander. Chopper at first base and foul. And the count evens off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carrick in Game 1 had a double his last at-bats after striking out the first 3 at-bats. Doubled and scored, made it a 1-run game in the 7th and final inning, but Goats ended up losing by just a run. Pitch is swung in, a rocket down the right field line, foul. 7-6 was the final in Game 1.
Here's a look at the right fielder, Pinyango, who had a big 2-run single in the first game of the doubleheader.
Next one is a little bit low, and the count will leave it off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Goats in Game 1, Dan, had to fight their way back. Going down 2-0 after 2 innings. Tied it, and they were down 5-2 before getting 3 runs in the 4th inning, but they never could pull in front in Game 1. There's a liner again, foul first base out of the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, it was like climbing up a hill. You'd make it right to the top, and then you'd slide back again.
Well, Baez, 6'1", 200 pounds, 24 years old, from the Dominican. And gradually work his way up inside the Blue Jays organization. And ball came loose, and it looks to Jesus, who'll flip it back towards his own dugout at first base. His last outing was against Somerset on the 23rd. Took the loss in that game. It was against the Yankees affiliate. Little pop up, short left. Orphan comes in underneath, and he makes the catch as Chase puts away Carrick for out number 1.
Shortstop, number 5,
routine fly ball to get things going here in Game 2. This will be another 7-inning contest. Hartford, after dropping Game 1, now 5-4 in doubleheader games this season. It's the shortstop Jose Torres. 2 hits earlier today, including the run-scoring single, which made it a 1-run game in the final inning earlier tonight. And he takes the fastball 97 that time for Baez for ball 1. in Gilliland, who just was activated by the Fisher Cats. He's behind the plate catching. 2 balls and no strikes to Torres. That's a chopper hit foul. And the count goes to 2-1. Goats won the game 1 of the sets last night. A great pitching, both from the starting pitcher as well as the bullpen, and ended up getting a 4-1 victory in the 7-game series opener. Next one is in for a strike, and it's 2-2. Infield backed up, and the outfield is straight away.
Here's a look at the manager of the Fisher Cats, Brent LaValle.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, ball dropped by Gilliland. He will fire down to the first baseman, De Jesus. And Torres is gone for out number 2.
Saw a lot of that from New Hampshire's pitching in the first game of the doubleheader. And what they did was try to extend the zone on the hitters. And that's what Narvaez did there. He just extended the zone on Torres and struck him out.
This is the third baseman. Baez comes home, and Ken takes high for ball. Dan, Bobby Meacham had to shuffle and come up with a new lineup for game 2. Benny Montgomery unfortunately left injured. He's racing up that first baseline and left game 1, and he is not in the lineup in game 2. It's in for a strike, a slider to 85, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, in that last inning, the last of the 7th, tearing up the first base line, just the way he came down on the bag with his right foot, completely hit the top of the base. I don't know if he twisted his ankle, but he did something to it.
Ground ball, left side, knocked down at shortstop by Harry. Gets to his feet, fires to first base, not in time. Kent legs out an infield-style single. Great play, though, by Harry just to keep that ball in the infield. I mean, really had no business even making that a play at first base. Look at this throw from the grass.
Well, we've seen Harry be a busy man in the first game of the doubleheader. Defensively, he is sharp. That's why we were surprised he was pinched hit for with his team leading in the top of the 7th.
Left fielder Juan Guerrero,
he just really was a busy man in that first game.
Guerrero takes high at 94. Juan earlier tonight had 2 hits and 3 at bats and scored 2 of the Goats 6 runs.
Harry had 6 assists and a putout in the first game of the doubleheader.
That's outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Guerrero. Goats the visiting team. Trying to get on the board first.
Juan has put together a nice streak. He now has 9 hits in his last 18 at-bats.
Pops this one up, third base side. McAdoo in foul territory. Will he have a play? No, as it goes off the side netting. Good effort by Charles. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Watch it again as you see.
He and Harry.
Right. I mean, Harry's in the middle of every play.
He is.
It's all about Harry.
Want that shortstop to get everything that he can get to, but neither could quite get that baseball. New life for Guerrero. 2 balls and a strike to count. Just getting going here in the top of the first inning. That's outside. The count goes to 3-1. Now, if the Goats get this win, this will count as a road win, not a home win.
That's right.
It's the second time in as many homestands as Hartford's had to squeeze 7 games in 6 days. It happened when Binghamton was here 2 weeks ago due to rain in New York. Ground ball sharply hit foul. Bobby Meacham quickly getting out of the way, and it's filled now 3-2.
Narvaez throws 3 pitches, your 3 basic pitches: fastball, slider, change.
That was a cutter, too. As he works to Guerrero. Runner goes. The payoff pitch is outside, ball 4. So it's a walk, and Guerrero is at first base. Kent moves to second, and Hartford then trying to strike for Braden Ward, who had a great day at the plate in game 1.
Yes, and that's a nice job by Guerrero to work that walk. I mean, it seemed Narvaez was on cruise control, retiring the first 2 batters, but then a single and a walk. And you mentioned Ward. He had 2 for 3 with 3 runs batted in, a couple of doubles in that first game.
Yes, and Narvaez signed with the Blue Jays October 2020. He was 20 years old. Braden Ward is in, lefty hitter, has the table set. Tracks the first one at 96 for ball 1. And that's a little bit low. Slider that time. And the count 2 balls and no strikes. I think both Guerrero and Ward right now are playing with a lot of confidence.
Yes. Oh, now we've got a momentary stoppage in play, and just like that, the pitching coach, Austin "The Benz" Dirks, comes out. It's Dirks.
It is.
Like what he saw, Jeff. I mean, and I can understand it after Narvaez got the first 2 hitters. He gives up the hit to Kent. Then he struggles with Guerrero, walks him. He's 2-0 to Ward, so why wouldn't Bibbins Dirks go out there and have a conversation?
Remember Austin Bibbins Dirks when he pitched in the Eastern League for the Fisher Cats before going on to pitch in the major leagues of the Blue Jays, and now he's the pitching coach here in the Granite State. Guerrero's at first base. Kent is at second. Goats trying to score first. And their first ups here in the opening frame. 2-0 the count. Bluff towards second base, and Kent crawls back to the bag okay. Baez trying to navigate through some 2-out traffic. It's now 3-0 as he's fallen behind the 5-hole hitter, Braden Ward. Got a little bit cooler now.
Yes.
As we've gone from daytime to nighttime here in the capital city. Play on at second base, and he's leaning, and he's picked off. Oh, boy. Nick Kent gets picked off of second base with Braden Ward at the plate in a 3-0 count.
All rolled into one. Come join us in Manchester and Fairfield and online at elicitbrewing.com.
Fisher Cats starting lineup presented by the Hartford. Charles McAdoo, the Blue Jays number 13 prospect, Dan in there.
Well, he had an impact last night, hit a home run, and he is an excellent hitter and a pretty good defender, Jeff.
Mason Green pitching for the Goats makes his 5th start. He's been used primarily out of Hartford's bullpen.
His 14th appearance overall, and there's that Yard Goats defense behind him.
Hendrik Piniago swings and hits the first pitch he sees into right field for a single. Piniago, who had been mirrored in a slump Leads things off here for the Fisher Cats of the first inning with a ground ball hit.
Last week, Bignongo, who is in so many categories leading the Eastern League, was 1 for 22, but in the first game he was 1 for 4 with a big 2-run single.
Green making his 5th start, 14th appearance. Moved into the rotation May 22nd when Jack Mahoney was placed on the development list. The DH, Jay Schneck, is taking the pitch up high for ball 1. His last start Thursday at Erie. 2 2/3 innings. He allowed 5 runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 11-2 loss. That's outside. First one was ruled a strike, and it's 1-1. Schneck in game 1 had a hit and walked. He scored 2 of the Fisher Cats' 7 runs and a 1-run victory for the Jays affiliate. Yango digs out his lead at first, held there by Kokoska. That's outside. It's 2-1. Green went 10-6, a 3.32 earned run average in 24 games, 17 starts with the Goats and Class A Spokane last year. He was a late summer call-up, joined the Goats in August after going 9-5 in 20 starts at Spokane. That's fouled back to the second deck, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. This season, he made the Yard Goats opening day roster for the first time. He was pitching out of the bullpen. He did make 3 spot starts before moving into the rotation. Broken back ground ball right side. Well, first baseman Kokoska tried for it. He couldn't get it, and it will be an infield style single. A little bleeder that broke the bat of Schneck, and just like that, Dan, first and second base.
Well, and you know, that's a play that normally Kokoska makes, and we've seen the Yard Goats over the last couple of games here, the first game and now this, not make plays that they normally do make. And that's putting the pitchers in a big hole. Just like that, first and second, and nobody out.
Now Charles McAdoo. First to reach against Green, a swing and a miss, strike 1. Goats continue a 7-game and 6 days homestand against the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. And swing and a miss. Balls and 2 strikes to the Fisher Cats' third baseman. McAdoo waiting. Green turns it loose, and it's hit foul back to the screen behind the plate. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, so far Green is not coming into McAdoo. He is pitching him away.
Look at the umpires for tonight's game. Eric Griffin at home plate. Jonathan Forster's at first base, and Trey Jester had the plate in game 1. Will make decisions at third. McAdoo has the table set, just getting going here in the first inning. It's the bottom of the inning. Fisher Cats, we told you earlier, playing as the home team, and now McCabe calls time. He wants to visit with Mason Green.
No, I think they're having difficulty getting together on the signs. As we mentioned, they're pitching McAdoo away, at least on those first 2 pitches. And I'm wondering if they want to continue to pitch him away or perhaps jam him with this pitch on 0-2.
Right-handed hitter. Waits on an 0-2. Green turns it loose. Wow, just misses. Change up that time, and it's 1-2.
And they continue to pitch him away.
Yeah, didn't miss by a whole lot. McAdoo's cousin, James McAdoo, won 2 NBA titles with Golden State. His great uncle Bob won 2 with the Lakers.
His great uncle Bob is in the Hall of Fame.
He is. Right up in Springfield. There's a high drive blasted deep down the left field line, but foul. Pretty good genes for Charles Dan.
Without a doubt. Now Green finally threw a pitch out over the plate. He hung a curveball, and McAdoo got around on it, and that youngster has a souvenir.
And Green got away with that one. Now it's 1-2 to the third baseman. In there for a call, third strike. 93 in the outer half, and McAdoo left standing. And that's the first out of the first inning.
Except for that one pitch, he pitched him away for most of the at-bat, and McAdoo has to make the long walk back to the dugout.
That's Chase Borfin. Borfin played in game 1, had 2 hits and a run scored. Also struck out twice. That's chopped foul at home plates. Nothing in 1. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Borfin hitting .360 against southpaws. That's pretty impressive. Swings here, lets a little flare in his short left field, falling, fading, and down for a hit, racing around third baseman Iago. He's on his way home. The throw arrives late. Borfin with a run-scoring single, and the Fisher Cats strike first and take a 1-0 lead.
Well, there you go. They were playing a Borfin to pull, and look at, he dunks it into shallow left. A long run for Guerrero. No way he was going to catch up with that baseball. And Piñongo makes the turn and slides in with the first run of the ball game for the Fisher Cats. And once again, they draw first blood, Jeff.
And second baseman Cade Doty will try to keep the line moving for New Hampshire. And hard stuff at 93, right down Main Street for strike 1. Doty, 24 years old. Takes strike 2, and it's 0-2. Drafted out of LSU. He's a third-generation LSU Tiger, fourth-generation LSU student. And trying to make it with the Jays. Tracks the next one low. Good pitch with 2 strikes for Green. It's 1-2.
He didn't change his uniform pants. He had that same hole.
He did.
In the first game of the doubleheader over that left knee. That might be a new look.
Could be. Well, he had 2 hits, sac fly, scored, and a walk. Would you change those pants?
Absolutely not.
You might have those on tomorrow. Long pause by Green. And he chucks a 1-2. Ground ball hit off the pitcher. Green trickles behind the mound. Now the throw to first base in time. Good job by Green to stay with that play after the ball was hit right back at him, and the out is recorded. The 2 runners do advance, but there are 2 out. Yeah, went off and actually got him in the backside of the glove.
And Green just able to get the throw off, nailing Doty by a whisker. First base umpire Jonathan Forster making the call, and now Toshi's going to go out there and check on Green, make sure he's okay. Yard Goats trainer Toshiaki Nagahara.
He's been a busy guy today, Dan.
Sure has, particularly over the last couple of innings. Remember, he paid a visit to Benny Montgomery, and Montgomery had to leave the game in the last inning of the first game. And here's Toshi out there in the first inning of the second game.
Bobby Meacham wants to watch him throw a couple of warm-ups as well. He'll watch closely from just outside of the pitching mound. And you know he wants to stay in this game.
Yes, he does, and he seems to be okay.
He'll wave off Meacham and Oshiaka. Shrek is at third base. Orphan is at seconds on that ground out, and now Alex DeJesus playing for the first time in the twin bill. Green makes him move his feet, an inside fastball. DeJesus acquired in a trade with the Dodgers August of 2023. He's a 24th ranked baseball prospect in the Jays system, according to MLB.com. Swings here and lines one to left. Guerrero waiting for it. One is there and he makes the catch to end the inning. So Mason Green does minimize the damage. Fisher Cats come up with a run on the benefit of 3 hits. They leave 2. 1 done in Hartford, New Hampshire 1. The Yard Goats. Well, the Noble alumni with the Fisher Cats, now with the Blue Jays. How about one of the young stars in baseball, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? I'll tell you what, it was Guerrero Jr. and the Killer Bees. Biggio Bichette, part of that team a few years ago that helped win the Eastern League Championship. We thank Cindy Levine, who took that photo. Longtime season ticket holder. In fact, a season ticket holder of the Fisher Cats since day one. I love the photo, and thanks for sharing, Cindy. But boy, they've had some good teams up in the Granite State, Dan Lovallo.
Well, they sure have, and that 2018 team was one to remember.
Off to the second we go. Braden Ward will start things for the Goats. Yes, Hartford is playing as the road team. This game originally was scheduled to be up in Manchester back on May 9th, but inclement weather forced actually 3 doubleheaders that week. And you couldn't have 4, so Hartford had to take the game tonight. As Braden Ward takes low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. So the Fisher Cats get a run in the first inning, and they have been the aggressors so far in this Wednesday night. They led throughout game 1 and route to a 7-6 victory, and they got an early lead in game 2 of the Twin Bill.
Now we're going to have a pitch clock violation.
That'll be the first one of this game. Yang or Baez. That's in for a strike, and it's 3-1.
You know, you had that alumni up there before, and I'm so glad to see that Vlad Guerrero Jr. signed that contract extension with the Blue Jays. You want to see the teams keep their homegrown talent, Jeff.
Right. That's up high, and that's ball 4. So Ward with the leadoff walk, and it seemed that he was making it known that he wouldn't mind putting on the Red Sox uniform, and I was a little bit surprised when it was just right after that the Blue Jays said, okay, we need to make a commitment to him. There's Bobby Meacham, and you know Bobby knows Vlad Jr. real well. In fact, he was the manager that told him he was going to the big leagues. Bobby was with the Blue Jays at AAA Buffalo. Ward takes off for second. The pitch, swing a ground ball out to shortstop. Harry will have one play, and that's on Jorge as he's gone. So Bobby Meacham keeps the Goats out of the double play, starting Ward on that pitch, and I guess it's as good as the bunt.
Yes, it is, as the Yard Goats get that tying run into scoring position at a couple of cracks to bring him home. But yeah, Bobby managed that Buffalo team. He delivered the good news to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Bobby's managed a lot of great players over the years and played with some too when he was in the big leagues.
He has, for sure. Played, coached, you name it, now managing. Zach Kokoska is in for the first time. Swings to the first pitch and lines it, and caught by Harry. Wow, Jay Harry is putting on a defensive clinic today. Some stunning plays in game one, and that bullet hit off the bat of Kokoska times the leap perfectly to take a hit away from the first baseman. That's out number 2.
We mentioned in the first game, Harry had 6 assists and 1 putout. Here we are in game 2, only in the second inning. He already has an assist and 2 putouts.
G.J. Hill did not play in game 1. He takes a breaking pitch in for strike 1. Goats need a hit if they want to try to pull even here with 2 outs in this second inning. We're going 7. Ground ball hit towards second base. Doty has it and flips to the first baseman, DeJesus, taking care of Hill to end the inning. So nothing develops after leadoff walk. The Goats strands a man in scoring position. After an inning and a half, we had an earlier and exciting game in game 1. Nick Kent coming up with a clutch 2-run single in the 4th inning with the Goats down 5-3. He would tie things at 5 aside. Then we go to the 7th inning, and it would be Devontae Brown that hits a ball that Braden Ward can't handle. 2 runs come in, and the Fisher Cats go on to win by a run, 7-6 the final score. The Fisher Cats trying to get a sweep in the doubleheader here in Hartford today as move along to the home second inning. Devontae Brown chops the first one foul for strike 1. The way New Hampshire is playing, Dan, they're not playing like a team that is 18-28.
No, they're not. I mean, they're out there making the plays. Harry's put on a clinic at shortstop, getting clutch hits.
Mason Green back on the bump. Trying to get him to chase the high fastball. He lays off.
And Devontae Brown had a big first game. 2 runs batted in. Big 2-run double.
It's a soft roller, foul third base side to keep the AB going. Brown, you mentioned, played at NC State's, signed a non-drafted free agent contract in July of 2020. And an inside the park home run in Portland on April 17th. That's in there for a call third strike. So Brown left standing as Mason Green flicks the switch on the Fisher Cat center fielder. And strikeout number 2 for the Southpaw. One away in the second inning.
Way to paint the outside edge of the plate by Green.
Jay Heary is the 8-hole hitter. Manager Brent LaValle's lineup. Strike 1. And that's inside of the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lefty-lefty matchup. Soft ground ball, first base, and foul. And the count goes to 1-2. He's 6'1", 195. He's from Kansas. Was the Rockies' 12th round pick, 2021, out of Central Missouri. Last year, California League Pitcher of the Week. 2022 as a Fresno Grizzly postseason All-Star. It's way outside. The count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mason Green tries to extend the zone, but Harry lays off. Green got off to a great start, 1-0 with a .079 earned run average in the month of April. He allowed just 1 run, 11 1/3 innings. Pitch is swung out, hit towards center for Braden Ward. Dropping back a couple of steps, moves underneath, and he makes the catch, puts away Harry for out number 2.
Which means another 5 meals donated to the Stop and Shop School Food Pantry
I mean, we
program.
told you pitched mostly as a reliever early portion of the season, and he was the winning pitcher opening night here at this ballpark, April 4th against Somerset. That was an exciting game. That was a walk-off home run by Kyle Karros. And Gilliland is the hitter. Just joined the roster today. He's the catcher. One ball, 1 strike. .511, 175 from Tennessee. Tracks the next one low. Borderline pitch around the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gilliland was at High A Vancouver this season. 6 games, 2 hits, 17 at bats. Fouls the next one off. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's interesting, Jeff. A lot of these players apparently are on a fast track. Some of these players started the year at High A Vancouver, and now they're already with New Hampshire.
Guys move quickly, quicker than we've ever seen before. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Gilliland tried to hold back. He could not. Green with a strikeout to finish off the inning, and he turns in a 1-2-3 second to complete. It's 1-0 Fisher Cats here. Here's a look at the updated standings. The Yard Goats 5.5 back, now losing game 1 by a run, and they're back at 500, 23-23. Dan, just actually less than a month ago in this first half.
That's right. The season comes to an end, 3rd week of June?
That's right. 22nd is when things finish off.
The first half.
Ben McCabe starts things as we open the 3rd inning. Baez with the first one, missing for ball 1. McCabe, Carrig, and Torres here in this 3rd inning. He's in 6'1", 200 pounds, always from the stretch. Swing and a miss, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike. Goats have one hit through 2 innings. It was an infield style single by Nick Kentz in the first inning. There's a drive hit towards left field and hit well. Orphan heading back towards the track in front of the fence, and he makes the catch. McCabe hits that one right on the barrel and sends Orphan from the grass to the gravel of the warning track, and he hauls it in. McCabe using just about every inch in left field here at Duncan Park with that flyout.
Baez hung a pitch out over the plate, and McCabe made contact before Orphan chased it down. You know, it's interesting, Baez, the longest he's gone this year in an outing, 3 innings, and that was in relief. 3 innings of scoreless baseball, so this could be his last inning.
Yeah, lots of times game 2, that doubleheader, right? You will get a bullpen game as Cole Carrick swings. It's a rocket foul first base side. Cole had a nice road trip. Hit .308, 8 for 26 with a couple of doubles. First year GOAT, 23 years old. Rocky's 2nd round pick out of San Diego State. And he's the number 2 prospect. Swings and misses here at a slider. It's 0-2. Carrick invited to Major League Spring Training as a non-roster player. Big part of the success that Spokane had last year in winning a league championship. He and Kyle Karras, quite the 1-2 tandem, and now 3 umpires going to get together, Dan.
I think we've got a violation.
Yeah, now the manager, Brent LaValle, is going to come out. He wants an explanation from Garrett Griffin, the home plate umpire.
And you saw immediately the home plate umpire, Garrett Griffin, summoning Trey Jester.
Ground ball sharply hit, shortstop. There's the vacuum. Here another play as he throws to first base, retiring Carrick. Route number 2.
That's just what he is, the vacuum. I mean, everything seems to be hit to him, and he's handling the plays flawlessly. He was an outstanding player at Penn State.
He was, yep.
Harry, his dad played collegiately at Wake Forest.
There's the shortstop, Jose Torres. Goats in danger of going in order for the first time in game 2. And Torres, who does have 7 home runs, takes the first one wide. 7 homers, 29 RBI for Jose. Was acquired by the Rockies at the winter meetings. Rule 5 from the Cincinnati Reds. Swings here and grounds one up the middle. Sliding is Harry, but he can't get that one. Torres pokes it between Harry and Doty, the second baseman, and Torres has himself a 2-out single. That's just the 2nd hit for the Goats.
See, all it took was just another shortstop to get it by Harry.
That's right. So the potential tying run at first base. Fisher Cats up 1-0 in the 3rd inning of this 7-inning contest. This is game 2 of the doubleheader. Nick Kent. Runner breaks for second. The pitch is a ball to throw down to second base, in and out of the glove. Doty, the second baseman, who was there to take the throw from Gilliland. And the Goats now a hit away from potentially tying this, Dan, with good speed and scoring position.
Well, Bobby Meacham trying to do something to jumpstart his team's offense and get that runner into scoring position. He's the tying run down there.
Baez trying to wiggle off the hook. Ground ball headed towards shortstop. Harry taps the mitten and fires on to first base in time to get Kent to end the inning. So nothing develops after a 2-out single. 1 man left after 2.5 innings. It's New Hampshire won the 75 former Yard Goats have played in the major leagues, but how about a Hunter Goodman in gold right there? Leads the Rockies in batting, hits, RBIs, total bases, second in home runs and runs scored. And remember, Dan, back in 2023 when he established a new franchise home run record with 25. Boy, he has had a great season in Denver.
He has been a bright spot for the Rockies, and he's got a bright future.
And Pinago is the hitter as he takes the first one for ball one. Back to pitch, it's Mason Green. We open the home third. Fly ball left field for Juan Guerrero. Started in, now goes back a couple of steps. He calls and catches and puts away Pinago for the first out of the third inning. Fisher Cats will be joining us late. Got a run off Green. A 2-out single, a 1-out single by Chase Borfin. Pinago started with a single, and Shrek followed with a hit. But since then, it's been smooth sailing for Mason Green as Shrek takes the pitch in for strike one.
And a light rain is falling here at Duncan Park.
Yeah, it started last inning. I think right now they'll try to play through it. Green, by the way, has retired 6 in a row. That's in for a strike, and the count runs to 0-2.
Yeah, the way he's pitching, he wants to play through it.
Making his 5th start, his 14th appearance. Left-hander. That's served back of the seats. 1 balls and 2 strikes. Green spent the 2023 season at High A Spokane as well. Next one is in there for a call, 3rd strike. So Green strikes out Shrek. He goes down with a bat on his shoulders. That is 4 strikeouts for the Southpaw and 2 away in the 3rd inning.
Perfectly placed pitch. Mason has found his mojo. There is bullpen action for the Yard Goats, though. So my hunch is this is Green's last inning.
Charles McAdoo struck out only time against Green, and that's in for strike one. One benefit that Hartford has, Dan, is they have so many lefties. He's righty up throwing right now, but
it's Alec Barger.
It is Barger, but they do have probably more lefties than any other club in the league.
Yes,
especially in the bullpen.
And that comes in handy against a team like
Sure.
New Hampshire, which has a number of left-handed batters.
Yeah. It's fouled off, and it's 1-2, and Mason Green a strike away from his 2nd straight 1-2-3 inning. Green shakes McCabe. Now Ben puts out the target. Here's the 1-2. Wow, just misses at 91. Didn't miss by a whole lot. Great placement. Only a little bit low. Wow. It's 2-2. There's a line drive into right center field for a base hit. Braden Ward will play that back to the infield, and a 2-out single for Charles McAdoo.
McAdoo is starting to find his momentum. He went with that pitch. That's an excellent at-bat. That pitch was on the outer portion of the plate, and rather than try to pull it, he went with it.
Chase Borfin, the hitter. 6th round pick of the Jays. He had an RBI single, was driven in, the only run so far tonight. Swings and misses here, strike one. Told you, Borfin. He hits better against lefties than righties. 183 against rights, 360 against lefties, and he had a hit against Mason Green in the 1st inning. And a swing and a miss. Good stuff on that fastball as he pumps it by, and now greeting the driver's seat, 0-2.
Well, Mason is going right at these hitters now. No messing around.
Yep. Kokosk at first base, holding McAdoo. That's outside. Good spot, though, for the off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2. Borfin was at Oklahoma and then at Arkansas. I'm trying to make it 2 steps away from Toronto. Another pitch that just misses. That slider, 85.
See McCabe hold the mitt just a tad longer, hoping to get the call.
Yep. He was just looking at the track man, just a little bit outside. Right towards that edge, though, of the black. Now the 2-2. That's low, no doubt about that one. It's worked full now, 3-2 for the Fisher Cats left fielder.
I have a hunch, Jeff, if Borfin gets on, that might be it for Mason.
Borfin had 2 hits and a run scored in game 1, which was a 7-6 win for the Fisher Cats. Wow, missed again at 92, a heater. And that's a walk. That's the first walk of the game for Mason Green. Now runners at first and second base as the Fisher Cats look to try to make something happen here with 2 outs.
No movement in that Yard Goats dugout as Borfin reaches first base. Bobby Meacham staying put. That's Delta Cleary Jr., the first base coach.
Kate Doty chopped back to the mound. Ball went off the glove of Mason Green. Then they went out and checked it to make sure all the pieces were in place. And, of course, he stayed in the game. And slider was wide for ball 1. Time is called as Mason Green backs away. Doty appeared in spring trainings games for the Blue Jays last couple of years. Saw him in New Hampshire last year. Sends that one back to the roof, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike. He'd spent some time rehabbing in Dunedin with an injury. And he is back in New Hampshire trying to gradually make his way through the Blue Jays organization. That's inside of the count, goes to 2-1.
Oh, Mason thought he had that inside corner, but he didn't get the call.
Right on the edge. Got a tight strike zone in this 3rd inning without a doubt. He's right around the plate, but that track man had it just a hair outside. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's up, and it's now 3-1. Activity continues in the Hartford pen out in right field. Doty has Borfin at first base and McAdoo at second. 1-0 Fisher Cats in this 3rd inning. We're going 7. That's chopped foul at home plate, and it fills now 3-2. That was a slider for Mason Green.
Now with 2 runners on base, that really is an advantage for the Fisher Cats now.
He's got 4 strikeouts. He would love his 5th. Set to throw his 58th pitch of the night. And here it comes, swinging a foul back to the backstop, and we'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Light rain continues to fall here in downtown Hartford. Here's the 3-2 pitch with the runners going, and it misses high ball 4. So with 2 outs, the Fisher Cats load the bases with a single and back-to-back walks. And Dan Lavallo, this will end the night for Mason Green.
Yeah, Bobby Meacham is on his way to the mound, Jeff. We have a pitching change here at Duncan Park with the score. New Hampshire 1, Hartford 0. Back to tell you all about it in just a moment on Yard Goats Baseball. pitched a third of an inning scoreless against Erie on May 25th.
So Barger out to face Alex DeJesus is in from the right side. And the first one is outside for a ball.
Tell you, this being a 7-inning game, the Fisher Cats could put this thing away with one swing.
Bases are loaded for the 6-hole hitter. Barger's got to make something fine here. There's a strike. A speed pitch gets in. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Alec, third season as a GOAT, acquired a trade from the Braves back in the 2023 season. He was traded in exchange for lefty Brad Hand. That's in for a strike at 93. And now Barker in the driver's seat, 1-2. Originally, Alec was the Atlanta Braves' 17th round pick, 2019 out of NC State. Trying to strand 3 in this third inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Alec Barger comes in and gets the job done. He strikes out Alex DeJesus. Fisher Cats load him up but do not score. We head to the 4th. It's 1-0 New Hampshire.
Financial Credit Union Junior PA announcer is 12-year-old.
Valley Sports Live is your home for minor league baseball all season long. Watch every game at no cost in the MILB Zone. Test your skills and earn rewards at the Game Center. And buy tickets to watch your favorite teams. Valley Sports Live is the perfect companion for the minor league baseball fan. Step up to the plate and download the Valley Sports Live app today. Top of the 4th inning, it's 1-0 Fisher Cats. Here's Dan Lovallo.
All right, Jeff. Juan Guerrero fouls off the first pitch. 0-1. Juan walked his first time up. And Jason Urbaez is out there now into his 4th inning of work. Longest outing of the season. Another foul, 0-2 the count. Guerrero went 2 for 3 in the first game. He's been swinging a hot bat. And he's going to become an even more important figure if Montgomery is out for any time. The Yardgoats are already down Kyle Karros, and then Benny Montgomery was lifted in the 7th inning of the first game. The way he landed on the first base bag, running out a grounder. McAdoo makes the play, and Guerrero is out to start the top of the 4th inning.
Now batting, number 14, Braden Ward.
And Charles took that drop step back and had to grab it in the in-between hop, and good play to get Guerrero for the first out of the 4th inning.
I see a McAdoo taking a drop step back. I'm thinking of a jump shot.
Right.
There's Charles. Braden Ward walked in his first plate appearance, and he takes the pitch inside.
And his family does have former basketball stars, huh?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. His uncle, his great uncle.
Tough to beat the Hall of Fame.
No question about that. Just up the road from here, in fact. 1-0 pitch. Fisted foul off to the left. That levels the count. Braden with a big first game at the plate. Couple of doubles, 3 runs batted in. His first double tied the game at 2. A 2-run double, and then he had another RBI double. That's a ball, 2-1. And he can hit to all fields. We saw that in the first game, Jeff.
We did. And you just never know what he's thinking. Is he going to try to hit the ball over the fence? He's going to drop a bunt down the line.
There's a drive to left, but right there is Borfen. And quickly, 2 are gone here in the top of the 4th inning.
Now batting number 6, Dean.
Now the second baseman, Dion Jorge. Borfen in the first game of the doubleheader. Borfen played right field, and now he's getting a chance to play left. Jorge, who's playing second base in both games of the doubleheader, looks at strike 1. Jorge went 0 for 3 in the opener. Grounded out to short his first time up. 1-0 New Hampshire. That is a ball. 1-1. Game 4 of the series is tomorrow night. That is a 7:10 start, and the Yard Goats will be playing as the Thunder Chickens.
Yes, how about that?
That's a ball.
You know, the minor league baseball has some fun promotions that they'll unveil, and the Thunder Chickens were unveiled this past February at the annual promotions event up in the YG Club here at Duncan Park, and fans have got the jerseys, they've got the hats.
There's a fly to shallow center field. This is trouble, and who makes the catch? Are they going to call it a catch? No, that is a fair ball, and in at second base is Jorge. Brown colliding with Peñano, and that had trouble written all over it. How often have you seen players get seriously injured on this? Watch it again.
Yeah, a near collision. Devontae Brown with a tremendous effort to try to bring that in, but he never had it in the mitt cleanly.
And Peñano sliding, body sliding all over the place on the wet
Yeah,
turf.
it's like a slip and slide out there now. It's been raining the last 45 minutes or so. Goats will take it, Dan. It's a splash double.
And there's the tying run at second base with 2 outs for Zach Kokoska. There's a strike.
Zach hit a line shot that Jay Harry made a great catch, taking a single away back in the second inning. He also had a laser home run on the road trip in Erie.
Well, he goes downstairs after that pitch, and now Zach is in a 2-strike hole. Rain has picked up a bit, but not enough to stop this game. There's a drive to center field. Ranging back is Brown. He makes the catch, and Urbaez pitches out of it. We head to the last of the 4th with the score. New Hampshire 1, Hartford 0.
So what do we want to do here? chips are falling, and not in here, though. Nice and safe here in the booth. And now the Goats trailing early on 1-0.
Yes, and we'll see what happens down the stretch if the rain has an impact. But the Yard Goats offense seems to have stalled. New Hampshire's pitching done a fine job.
See if the Fisher Cats can keep it going. New Hampshire won game 1 of the Twin Bill.
And the first man up is Devontae Brown. He sends it to deep left field, and Guerrero makes the catch. One pitch, one away. To start the last of the fourth inning is Alec Barger, who came on to strike out Alex DeJesus, ending the third. Gets Brown to Sky to Guerrero, starting the last of the fourth.
One batter and one out in the books.
Now Jay Harry, fly to left his first time up. Takes ball one. With this rain, fans should know, even though it's a 7-inning game, the game must go 5 innings to be official if the visiting team. There's a drive to deep right field, and this one is going to be off the wall. On his way to second base is Harry, and he slides in with a double. So Harry not only is getting it done in the field, he's getting it done at the plate as he rips this one over the head of Hill. Watches. Hill has to turn and play it off the top of that wall.
Yeah, that ball was scalded off the fence in right field. You're right, though. The game not official yet, Dan. It's got to be the losing team has to bat 5 times.
Yep. Now Hayden Gilliland, who struck out swinging his first time up. That's a big insurance run down there at second base for the Fisher Cats. And Jay Harry. And the first pitch to Gilliland is a ball. Hayden catching the second game of this Twin Bill. Fastball misses. 2-0 the count. One run, 5 hits for New Hampshire. No runs, 3 hits for the Yard Goats. And that pitch goes all the way to the backstop. Now, wait a minute, they're going to say he got hit. So that is a hit batsman. And Harry's going to have to retreat to second base as Gilliland heads down to first.
Yeah, it keeps Harry at second, but it puts a new runner on base.
And now the dangerous Johendrick Pinyango. Pinyango has singled to right, has scored this game's only run, and flied to left. Had a big hit in the first game of the doubleheader. There's a strike. Fastball paints the outside corner. Pinyango looks up to find Harry at second and Gilliland at first. That's a ball. 1-1 the count. Pinyango is putting together quite a season for the Fisher Cats as the rain picks up even more. Now the 1-1. Breaking ball is fouled on the roof and out of the ballpark. 1-2 the count. Well, we need the rain. We haven't had any in about a day and a half.
It's been a few hours.
1-2 pitch popped up. And they're going to call the infield fly rule as Jorge makes the catch for the second out. Got jammed that time. That was an excellent pitch by Barger, jamming Pinyango. And now the DH.
Off-speed pitch, Dan. That pitch was 82 miles an hour.
Nice job.
Yeah.
R.J. Schreck, a dangerous hitter, has reached on an infield hit and looked at a third strike. And he's up there with runners at first and second and 2 outs in this 1-0 game. Ball 1. Schreck with 8 home runs on the year. He's among the league leaders in that category. He swings through a fastball, 1-1. 93-mile-per-hour heat from Barger.
Yeah, Alec cranking it up a little bit for the DH.
Yard Goats come in with a .500 record now after losing the first game of the doubleheader. Hold everything. A balk has been called.
And Barger can't believe it. He said, "What did I do?"
Yeah, and whoa, you can see Garrett Griffin really letting the Yard Goats bench know what happened, and now we're going to see McCabe go out to the mound and have a word with Barger.
Now it's a 1-1 count, and you can't lose the fact that there are 2 outs. You get the hitter here, and you're out of it.
That is huge, though. A base hit scores 2, and you could see Griffin taking command. If you didn't know it was a balk before, you know it now.
He was pretty adamant about that call.
I mean, I think they knew it at the police department down the road. 1-1 pitch. Curveball is popped up. Is this playable for Kent? It is not.
And Nick tried to get over by his own dugout, but had no shot as that actually landed atop of the dugout. And Brave fan. Most of the fans have gone under the overhang. That's one great thing about this ballpark. It does provide a lot of shelter in the inclement weather. So you've got a nice open concourse you can stand under.
I think brave is the word, Jeff.
Right?
1-2 pitch upcoming. Way outside 2-2. It's got to be difficult for a pitcher to grip the baseball when it's raining like this.
Yep. And then you worry about your traction too when you're landing.
Well, Shrek prepares for that 2-2 pitch. This is inside ball 3. So now the string has run out on R.J. Shrek, the DH in this game. There's a look at the third base umpire, Trey Jester. Runners at second and third, so there is a base open here, but Barger wants to put an end to this. And he might have. Will it stay in play for Kent? Unable to make the catch. That's difficult. You're looking up into the sky. That rain is coming down. Awfully difficult to make that kind of a catch.
Yeah, and you've got the net right there, too, and just kind of ran a little bit. Battling the raindrops and new life for Shrek.
3-2 on Shrek. Again, the payoff pitch. Swung on and hit high in the air to deep right field. Hill turns, and this one is gone. A 3-run homer for R.J. Shrek, his 9th home run of the season, and the Fisher Cats now lead it 4-0. Well, Shrek wins the battle, and that is a huge home run for the Fisher Cats, Jeff.
Certainly is. I mean, Kent comes within an inch of making a play to get out of the inning, and then very next pitch, Shrek goes into the top tank up in the George deck in right field. A 3-run blast, and now a 4-0 lead for the Fisher Cats.
Charles McAdoo settles in, first ball swinging. He pops it up in the rain, and this is going to be playable as Torres makes the catch. But the damage is done as Shrek goes yard, and the
I'll look at the Yard Goats team leaders from Namco Pools. Cole Carrick leading in batting, home runs, RBI, OPS hits, and stolen bases. He's been the offensive catalyst for the Goats. That's your Namco team leaders. A team of Cole Carrick offensively. He's had a great month of May, and Goats will see if they get something going now with the score 4-0. Last inning, it was R.J. Schreck with a 3-run home run. Went into the right field porch seats to make it 4-0. Now, Dan, we go to the 5th, and the Goats will see if they can carve this deficit a little bit.
Well, they'll be facing Nate Garco, native of Arcadia, California. And they're going to have to make some noise here because the sands are running through the hourglass, Jeff.
Yeah, you're not kidding. And this is the 5th inning now of a 7-inning contest. Goats lost game 1-7-6, and they're in danger of getting swept. Even though this officially will be a road game, it's their home turf in downtown Hartford.
G.J. Hill will lead it off. He grounded out to second base his first time up. Garco, 27 years of age. And Hill tries to bunt his way on and fouls it off.
That was a big 3-run shot last inning, wasn't it, by
Huge.
Schreck?
Absolutely huge.
Play before it looked like Kent was going to end the inning with a pop-up and a foul ground third base side. Just couldn't get to it.
That's a ball. 1-1 the count. Well, this is not unexpected. This happens in a baseball season. Players get hurt. You've got to deal with the elements, and this is what tests a team as Hill tries to bunt his way on. And the Yard Goats are going through one of those periods, Jeff.
They right now are trying to overcome it and stay in the race, but time is a-ticking. Less than a month to go now in the first half.
June 22nd is when the first half ends. Hill facing Garco, who started the year in the Northwest League. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. That was a nasty breaking pitch.
Good-looking pitch from the righty reliever. Just the second strikeout for Fisher Cats pitching tonight. Goats have made contact, but have not been able to push anything across.
Ben McCabe just got under a pitch his first time up, just missing a home run. Sent the ball to deep left. Swing and a miss at a slider, strike 1.
Yeah, he barreled that one pretty good. Jay Sporfin had to go back in the warning track right in front of the fence to bring it in.
Garco throws a fastball, change and slider. There's that change in there for a strike 0-2. Garco pitched a little bit for New Hampshire last year. Started this year at Vancouver, and now he's back with the Fisher Cats, working to Ben McCabe, with the Yard Goats trailing 4-0. There is a swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, he's not overpowering anybody, but he struck out the first 2 batters. Excellent changeup to the top of the order now, and Cole Carrick, who has flied to left and grounded out to short. So Garco making his presence felt. He was pitching independent ball last year, was Garco, as he works to Carrick, and there's a nice stop by the first baseman, De Jesus. But Carrick beats it out. Got to give Cole credit. He's hustling up that first base line. De Jesus making a nice stop, but Carrick was tearing up that first base line. Look at that play by De Jesus. But you got to deal with the speedy Carrick. And Cole wins the race easily. The pitcher was late in covering, but I'm not so sure they would have gotten him anyway.
That was a hard 90, and then I think even Carrick the last second knew he had it and even kind of took the foot off the gas as he hit that first base bag.
So there's Carrick as Jose Torres bats 1 for 2. Swing and a miss at a slider, strike 1. Torres has struck out and single to center. Carrick leads off first. There's a ball. 1-1 the count. Yarko, as I mentioned, was pitching independent ball last year for the Gateway Grizzlies of the Frontier League.
Blue Jays scouting a lot of players from the Frontier League.
Yes. There goes Carrick as the pitch is fouled back. 1-2 the count.
In fact, that's where they got Game 1 starting pitcher Ryan Watson. He was in the Frontier League.
Well, you have to fill out a roster, and scouts will look anywhere, and you get that feeder system from independent ball sometimes. 1-2 the count. Carrick not going. There is a swing and a miss, strike 3. So the Yard Goats get a hit, leave a man. This is now an official game with the score. Well, let's take a look at the game summary. It didn't take the Fisher Cats long to get on the board on that bloop single by Jace Beaufren. That made it 1-0. And then in the 4th inning, R.J. Schreck lowered the boom with a 2-out, 3-run homer. And the Fisher Cats now have a 4-0 lead, courtesy of that round tripper. Speaking of Beaufren, he leads it off. He's got a count of 0-1 on him. Alec Barger still out there. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. Beaufren has knocked in that run with a single and also walked, so he's been on base twice tonight in this second game. Fisher Cats bidding for a sweep of the doubleheader after the Yard Goats won the first game of the series last night 4-1. New Hampshire won the first game tonight 7-6. And leading 4-0 here. Swing and a miss. And that is strike 3. So Beaufren strikes out. And that is the second strikeout for Barger.
6 punch-outs now for Hartford pitching as a whole.
Cade Doughty gets a shot now. He walked in his last plate appearance. Also hit back to the box. He's 0 for 1. And he fouls this pitch back, 0-1. With the win in the first game of the doubleheader, New Hampshire improved to 18-28. They're trying to play the role of spoilers here in this first half. There's a ball. 1-1. Affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays since 2004. 1-1. Fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count.
Someone doesn't want this game to play on, right? This game was rained down back on May 9th
That's
in New
right.
Hampshire. Same scheduled game. Fisher Cats are the home team, and here comes the rain.
Something about this particular game
Right.
and rain.
Yeah.
Pitch misses. 2-2.
Game 1 was completed just fine.
Two and two the count. Ball 3. That's off McCabe's chest protector. No, I was thinking, and it showed up earlier when we were talking about it. New Hampshire and the Blue Jays affiliated since 2004. But this is the franchise that was in New Haven, right? There's a foul at the plate.
Yeah, they were the New Haven Ravens, so
Right.
they were at one point located right here in the Nutmeg State.
Yep. And were they affiliated with the Blue Jays then?
They were, yeah. The last couple of years they were Toronto. Before that they were St. Louis, and then originally they were the Colorado Rockies. That's where
right.
Todd Helton played his
Yes.
Double-A baseball at historic Yale Field.
Yep.
But they had just switched to Toronto, I think, the last year.
There's a grounded to third gathered in by Kent. And he gets his man for the second out.
Remember their star player that year was Alexis Rios. Remember him?
I
He'd
do.
been there playing in the big leagues, and
Yep.
he was the star player in the Eastern League that year, and he was with New Haven.
And the franchise moved to New Hampshire. There's Kent checking out where he should be positioned against Alex DeJesus, who has lined out to left and struck out. And DeJesus, first ball swinging, fouls it away into the Yard Goats dugout. Oh, and 1 the count. And there's a bouncer off the plate. This is trouble. It goes foul.
And Barger did a good job to get to it and basically tap it foul. Had no play on DeJesus.
Here's a look at DeJesus heading back towards the home plate area. DeJesus playing first base in this second game. Made that nice play on Carrick. Carrick beat it out for a hit, but he did a great job guarding the line. Barger just trying to get a grip on the mound. You don't realize how wet that gets, Jeff.
Yeah.
And that rain has intensified. This is an official game, however. 0-2 the count. The pitch just misses. It looked as if the plate umpire, Garrett Griffin, was about to pump up his right arm, but said, nope, that was a bit high.
Really close, but it did just miss.
Now the pitch swung on, grounded to short. Torres tosses to first, and Barger with a 1-2-3 inning. 5 in the books here at Duncan Park in Game 2 with the score New Hampshire 4, Hartford nothing. This is Yard Goats Baseball on NESN. Sports Live is your home for minor league baseball all season long. Watch every live game at no cost in the MILB zone. Test your skills and earn rewards in the game center. Buy tickets to watch your favorite teams. Valley Sports Live is the perfect companion for the minor league baseball fan. Step up to the plate and download the Valley Sports Live app today. Nick Kent leads it off, top of the sixth. He takes ball one from Nate Garko.
And Garko back out there for his second full inning. He surrendered a 2-out infield hit, but no runs last inning.
There's a strike 1-1. Kent with a single in the first. Also grounded out to short in the third. Yardgoats managing just 4 hits in this second game. Oh, Luis Lopez tried to field it with a helmet. And now what does he want? What's he pointing at, I wonder? One ball, 2 strikes to count on Kent. Garko delivers, and that pitch misses. 2-2. It will be Kent, Guerrero, and Ward here in the 6th inning, as the Yardgoats try to manufacture some kind of an offense, trailing 4-0. There's a foul out of play. Count remains at 2-2. The faithful are still here, as Jeff mentioned earlier. They're under the cover of the concourse. There's some of them. That pitch misses, ball 3. Right now, the big blow in this game, a 3-run homer.
Yeah, it was a biggie.
R.J. Schreck. Payoff pitch is way outside, ball 4. So, Jeff, the Yardgoats get the leadoff batter on.
Yeah, that's going to be 3 walks now for the Fisher Cats pitching staff. And, again, not ideal conditions, but last thing they want to do is give him the free pass.
At the moment, the bullpen is quiet. Here's Juan Guerrero, who's been swinging a hot bat. He walked in the first inning and grounded out to third in the 4th. Strike 1. Garko has been throwing mostly curves and sliders. Occasional changeup. Kent takes his lead in the driving rain. There's an excuse me swing, and that is a foul ball handled by De Jesus. So Juan quickly is in a 2-strike hole. .7:10 start tomorrow at Duncan Park, and what will be game 4 of this 7-game set. Connor Stain will go for the Yardgoats and Harrison Devereaux for the Fisher Cats.
And we'll have it on Nesson tomorrow night.
Yep. 0-2 pitch is high, 1-2. There's a study in concentration right there, Juan Guerrero. Whoa, that ball almost thrown away as De Jesus has to skip over Kent.
I want to put Kent at second base. But again, the Goats chasing 4 right now. They just need base runners.
Somebody has to clean those uniforms overnight. That's going to be a job. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Guerrero fan swinging through a changeup, and that is a big strikeout for Garko.
4th of the game for the 27-year-old right-hander. Basically a 3-pitch mix, fastball, changeup, slider.
Braden Ward has walked and flied to left, and Garko right now the man of the hour. Ball 1. Garko actually is in position to win this game if he can maintain the lead, because the starting pitcher, even though it's a 7-inning game, has to go 5 innings. Swing and a miss, 1-1. I mean, he doesn't throw overpowering
No.
stuff, Jeff, but you don't have to.
Yeah. There's the change up that last pitch, and see if he tries to get in the driver's seat with something to get Ward to chase.
There's a fly ball to right field. This is trouble, but making the running catch is Pinyango. Nice running grab by the New Hampshire right fielder.
He got a good break. I thought when it left the bat that it had a chance to go off the fence. But Hendrik Pinyango able to track this one down right towards the corner for out number 2.
Bring up Dion Jorge. There's Pinyango, who's gotten it done with his bat and now his glove. Jorge has grounded to short and doubled to center, and he takes a pitch upstairs, ball 1. Fisher Cats lead it 4-0. It's the top of the 6th inning of a 7-inning ball game in the rain at Duncan Park. That's a strike. 1-1 the count. Jorge playing both games of the doubleheader. Kent leads off first. And there is a foul right to Luis Lopez. And Luis having a tough night in that first base coaching box.
Tough conditions tonight, Dan, right?
Exactly. It's not easy.
It's wet, real wet.
1-2 pitch is fouled back and out of play. Four runs, 6 hits for New Hampshire. No runs, 4 hits for the Yard Goats. 1-2 pitch. In tight. 2-2. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Yard Goats Baseball is presented by Mike's Amazing Mayonnaise and Mustard. When it's on, it's on. Find Mike's Amazing here at Duncan Park and on sale today at your local market. To learn more, visit Mike'sAmazingFoods.com. New pitcher in the ball game for the Yard Goats is the right-hander, Colin Baumgartner. Alec Barger goes 2 into third, allows 2 hits, 3 runs earned, didn't walk anybody, struck out 2. And now Baumgartner working first to Devontae Brown, who takes the first pitch for ball 1. Brown looked at a third strike. His first time up, fly deep to left his next time. Baumgartner, a 2-1 record, 3.32 earned run average. This is fouled back. 1-1 the count.
He's a hard thrower, Dan, out of Kansas.
Second go around with the Yard Goats for Colin. There is a swing and a miss, strike two. Yard Goats being shut out. They have been shut out 3 times this year. They've had 3 shutout victories, and they've been shut out 3 times. This is as hard as it has rained tonight. The 1-2. Inside, 2-2. There's Brown out of North Carolina State. Played 5 years at North Carolina State. 2-2. Misses outside ball 3, 3-2. Bob Gardner last worked on Friday at Erie, pitched an inning and a third scoreless, allowed a hit, struck out a batter, got into a couple of games against the Seawolves. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He ties up Brown and strikes him out.
That's another strikeout for a cause sponsored by Sun Life, which means another $20.
Now the shortstop Jay Harry after the Brown strikeout. 7th strikeout for Hartford pitching. As Colin tries to keep this a 4-run game. Now Jay Harry, who's been busy in the field and helped to launch that 3-run 4th inning with a double. Then Hayden Gilliland was hit by a pitch. R.J. Schreck unloaded with a 2-out, 3-run homer. 1 ball, 1 strike now. The count on Harry. Mason Green started for the Yard Goats, pitched 2 2/3. Alec Barger 2 1/3, and now Colin Baumgartner being asked to keep this at 4-0. That's a ball. 2-1 the count on Harry. Now the 2-1 pitch. There's a liner right to the shortstop Torres, and quickly 2 are gone here in the last of the 6th inning.
Well, Baumgartner looking for a 1-2-3 frame, Dan.
Which is what the Yard Goats need. Looking ahead to the top of the 7th, the lower 3rd due up for the Yard Goats. Zach Kokoska, G.J. Hill, and Ben McCabe. There's a foul out of play. No balls and 1 strike, the count on Gilliland, who's catching this 2nd game. Alex Stone caught the 1st game of the doubleheader for New Hampshire, and Gilliland is getting the assignment in game 2. Baumgartner delivers, and that's a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. A lot of left-handed bats in this New Hampshire lineup. Fouled away, a 94-mile-per-hour fastball, 1-2 the count. Well, it's raining here, and we had mentioned in the first game of the doubleheader, New Hampshire been rained out 10 times this year, so they're happy to get this game in. That pitch is on the outside corner, strike 3 called, a 100-mile-per-hour fastball from Well, there's a look at the Colt building, the historic Colt building in downtown Hartford as we head to the top of the 7th inning. They have redone that structure, and it really is a sight to behold as we go to the top of the 7th, and the Yard Goats trailing 4-0. Nate Garko is still out there, and as we enjoy the sights surrounding the ballpark, ready to carry us home. And this is it for the Yard Goats. Once again, the voice of the Yard Goats, Jeff Dooley.
All right, Dan, thank you. As Jacko Koska will see if he gets something going. Hartford on the verge of getting shutouts and getting swept in a doubleheader. They lost the opening contest 7-6. But today, they haven't been able to click the offense into gear in game 2. 7-8-9, Kokoska starting things against Nate Garko. About to begin his 3rd inning of work. Going to pitch himself to a win. Koska pops the first one up, foul behind the plate. Will land with a chance, and he goes up towards the Datko sweet level and can't make the catch. And that one back of the dugouts weak for strike 1. He played through the elements tonight. Good effort there by Gilliland. He's caught up in the nets. It's remained the last hour or so, and field really takes it well, though, doesn't it?
It really does, Jeff, and kudos to the grounds crew once again.
Matt Parasanti and his crew getting the field in tip-top shape for tonight's game. And a swing and a miss at a breaking pitch, and it's 0-2.
I mean, Garko has been a study in how you can pitch without throwing over 90 miles an hour.
Started the season at Class A Vancouver, made 10 appearances out of the Canadiens bullpen, and got moved up to the Eastern League level, and he's been dynamite against Hartford hitters tonight. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Eats up Kokoska with a breaking pitch, and that's 6 strikeouts, Dan, for the reliever. One out in the 7th inning.
Well, and if you're the manager, you've got to be very happy because you started a reliever in just his 2nd start of the season, Jason Baez. He gives you 4 scoreless innings, and then you summon Garko, and he's into his 3rd inning of relief.
G.J. Hill is the hitter now. He's 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout, and he tracks the first one high for a ball. Fisher Cats ended up winning 3 out of 5 games earlier this month up at Delta Dental Stadium in Manchester. Swing and a miss. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And now trying to spoil this twin bill on the Yard Goats here in the capital city. Two and 1. Ben McCabe waiting on deck. He'll be next. Trying to hold up on this swing and appeal, and Trey Jester said he did hold up. And there's no swing, and it's 3 and 1. Garko went to Point Loma Nazarene and then Pasadena City College, and then 2017 was at Hawaii Pacific and pitching in the Frontier League when the Blue Jays signed him. That's fouled back to the screen. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and you know that old saying, Dan, if you got a uniform on, you've got a chance, and he's
right.
Living proof. He's 2 steps away from Toronto. And they'll certainly like the reports when they see what he did in this game tonight here in Hartford.
No question.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's 7 strikeouts, including 3 in a row for Nate Garko.
I mean, he battled back from 3 and 1 to strike out Hill. That's some pitching by Garko.
Now Ben McCabe, the catcher, 0 for 2. A fly out and a strikeout. Goes down to their final outs in game 2 of the twin bill. And the catcher takes wide for ball 1. That's outside. Rain continues to fall here in downtown Hartford. Infield back, outfield straight away. 2 balls and no strikes to McCabe. And that's ball 4. So McCabe works the walk. Goats get a 2-out free pass from Garco.
Now that's a patient at-bat by McCabe. So the Yard Goats still have some life here as McCabe reaches first base, being held on by DeJesus.
Now Cole Carrig will hit. He's 1 for 3 in game 2. Singles back in the 5th inning, his last at bat. And takes the pitch low for ball 1. Goats hoping to rally here in rain. But they're down 4-0. Their final out here in the 7th inning, like the 9th inning. There's a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss at a breaking pitch. And it's 1-2. Now the Yard Goats down to their final strike.
I'm not so sure Garco has thrown a pitch over 85 miles per hour tonight.
Right-hander reliever is set. 1-2 pitch. In there for a call, 3rd strike, and Carrig left standing, and the Fisher Cats sweep the doubleheader. They win game 1, 7-6, and they win shutout style 4-0 in the nightcap. Well, tough day at the old yard for the Yard Goats, Dan.
Well, it was, Jeff. You know, you see the pitching, and Garco wins his first game. It comes down to good pitching, solid defense, and timely hitting, and New Hampshire put those ingredients together today to come up with the win of the doubleheader sweep.
Well, the Yard Goats will get back at it again tomorrow. Will be game 4 of the 7-game set, back to a 7-10 first pitch, and the Goats will try to restore some order and see if they can get back in the series.
Well, that's the idea. They're playing at home, so they've got to take care of business here at Duncan Park.
Fisher Cats sweep the doubleheader on this Wednesday night. They take down the Goats 7-6 in game 1 and 4-0 in game 2. For Dan Lavallo and the rest of us here at Duncan Park, Jeff Dooley saying once again, 4-0. Fisher Cats beat the Yard Goats. So long, everybody.